Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's Stammer AI Office Hours. Got some fun things and fun updates to share today, especially with the aftermath of GPT-5, which I'm sure many people have been experiencing. So excited to hear kind of what some people have to say about that. Tim, Luis, thanks for joining.
Hey, Ross.
All right, so we always like to start off these meetings. We have our changelog and updates history, which shows all of the latest and greatest updates to the platform. There's a lot of interesting minor tweaks and updates in here. Some quality of life improvements, like more testing features and things like that to certain areas of the platform, like in lead collection. Um, and I won't go through every one of these today, but there are a couple ones that are good to mention. The first is going to be the template prompts. So these are going to be template prompts that are now visible inside of the AI agents themselves. And you also see that we simplified the dashboard, the left-hand side of the menu here a little bit, where there's no longer a drop down. It's just a single click, which then gets you into the dashboard. If you want to create a new AI agent, there's the button over here to do so. So that all remains the exact same, but now there's just it's simplified a little bit. So it takes one click to get into the AI agent dashboard. The cool thing about these template prompts is so they all show up right here. And when you select one, it's going to change the prompt in the basis prompt here to be whatever that template prompt is. So for agencies, for everyone watching here, and for agencies that are interacting inside of their agency dashboard, these are going to be the AI agents that you can find inside of the marketplace. Now, the same thing will happen with your sub accounts, but instead of the template prompts being pulled from our marketplace, they're going to be pulled from your agency's marketplace. So, as an agency, you have the ability to create AI agents and prompts, and then you can add these agents to your marketplace. And then when you do so, when your clients go into their sub account and go into the settings tab, they'll be able to see the template prompts that you have in your marketplace, and they can use these as a good starting jumping off point to get things rolling here. So really nice, easy update. So it removes the friction of having to go to the marketplace and then back and forth, or having to write out custom prompts for every single user, which is really nice. So that's the first main update. Next, as I'm sure you saw, we now have the concept of folders, which is very nice. So if you click the three little dots here, you can now add to a folder, and then you can organize and update your agents to be in these different types of folders, like so. You can make multiple different types of folders, and this will hopefully help organize for agencies who have lots of agents that they have in their dashboard and need a better way to organize everything. We've added a couple different additions to our API. So this is for our advanced users. When you go into the API, we now have the ability to customize the custom functions, create a custom function via an API, as well as be able to update the chat widget appearance. So things like the colors and the logos, all of that can be done automatically via the API, which would then update the agent's appearance, which normally you would have found inside of the appearance tab. So all of these options can now be controlled and customized via an API. This is very useful if you're using the platform as a AI agent provider, where your clients are not necessarily logging into your white label side of the platform. They're just using it to generate a custom agent for their website or for their business. Like I mentioned, there's a couple other minor updates and things like that. If you want to see the full release, you can go to roadmap.stammer.ai, or if you're logged into the Stammer app, you can click the little rocket in the top right-hand corner and view it that way. So those are some of the minor updates. Now, coming along from last week on Thursday, OpenAI released their GPT-5 model. to many people's disappointment, especially within the standardized ChatGPT interface, where they are no longer supporting the legacy models by default. That being said, I actually just made a video about that. And if you go to ChatGPT and if you go into your settings tab here, and you go into the general tab, there's now an option that's called show legacy models. And if you enable that, you now have the ability to select GPT-4o as an alternative model inside of ChatGPT. So that's just a quick little tip. If you haven't done that already, I would recommend doing so because a lot of people were not too happy that 4o was gone. And a lot of the ways that GPT-4o was responding and the creativity of its responses and things like that weren't as consistent as with GPT-5, who is the way people are describing is a little bit more programmatic. And of course, there's some ways that you can customize this. They have the ability to add personalities right here in GPT. So this is very similar to the base system prompts that we have in Stammer. But of course, we still have access to all of the models, and we have now added GPT-5 in as well. So now if you go into the model selector here, you'll now see GPT-5, 5 mini, and 5 nano. And all of these are the latest models, and they are interesting to try out, but they are not as conversational as 4o or maybe 4o mini or some of these other models. So that being said, there are some interesting restrictions that OpenAI has put on top of GPT-5. One of them being the fact that temperature is no longer supported. And this might be one of the interesting, I would say, features or additions that OpenAI has put into place that we have no control over. So when you select any of the GPT-5 models, you'll see that temperature is locked to 1. And that's because OpenAI has restricted this feature entirely for GPT-5 models. So if your clients are asking about that, there's nothing we can do. That's something that is restricted by OpenAI fundamentally. So each of these models is now available for all users. You can go in and set your rebilling prices for each of these models as well. We price them out the same as GPT-4o and the 4.1 mini and 4.1 nano, respectively. So if you want to use these models, you can using our system, or as we like to always recommend, to add your own API key for variable and cheaper pricing per message, as well as some other added functionality like longer prompts, more knowledge-based search results, and things like that. So GPT-5 we're still testing it internally within our platform, and I'm sure we'll have more updates in the coming weeks. But initially, right now, I would recommend everyone continue to use 4o, especially if that's what you've been using for the last long while. And if your customers have been using that as well, it's something that they're familiar with. I would highly recommend that you keep 4o available to them as well. So yeah, so that's that. The other thing is a quick little update on our voice options. So we are wrapping up our billing module for voice. We went over this a little bit last week with how it works and how you'll be able to create AI agents that will sit behind phone numbers and have a lot of the similar features for setting up an AI voice agent, like being able to set the prompt, being able to add information to a knowledge base, connect custom functions and tools, and then, of course, being able to extract analytics like lead data, conversation summaries, and the like, as well as being able to send and receive the transcripts of every phone call to any third-party CRM or platform. All of that will be available at launch. Some of the feedback that we've been getting from our early test customers has been really good, so we're really excited to get this released. I know it's been a long time since we've initially started talking about it, but like I said in I think the previous meeting, We had to rebuild it multiple different times because it didn't meet our standards, which of course would not meet the agency standards, and then of course would not meet the end client's standards as well. So now that we're happy with it, a lot of our initial customers testing it out in our alpha beta or in our alpha test are happy with it as well. So that will be coming out soon as we finish up our billing module to allow you guys to set your rebilling preferences and control how you'd like to sell AI voice agents to your customers on top of chat agents or separately, or basically however you'd like to do that. So that's pretty much it for today. I kind of sped through a bunch of things there, but does anybody have any questions or any comments from anything I mentioned today or in general? Drew, do you have anything?
Nope, I think I'm good. Excited to get voice out finally.
Yep, me too. It's a long time coming, but we're getting there. So, yeah.
Well, so how long are the models going to remain, the 4.0s?
We will support them as long as OpenAI allows us to support them.
Yeah.
We haven't heard anything from their end about them depreciating those models or I think that's the right word, deprecating, maybe deprecating.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, getting rid of. Um, yeah, but our plan is to keep them there as long as possible because we, like in our initial or internal tests, 4.0 still performs better for customer support chatbots, especially within use cases like SMS and things where they need to be a little bit more concise. So we don't have any plans, and as soon as if and when OpenAI does tell us that they're getting rid of those models, we'll try to let everyone know as soon as possible, as soon as we get that information, and be be as transparent as we can, given that OpenAI is kind of controlling that. Lim says, I send in a feature request to have an API to allow us to deduct our own charges to the user wallet. So I was wondering if this is possible. My use case is I build my own UI over Stammer and need to charge things like agent slash sub admin on users. It's a very interesting request and idea. Out of curiosity, how many clients or sub accounts do you have currently? Because this could be a feature that we build out for you as an enterprise offer, but I'd want to make sure that the enterprise plan would be a good fit for you in the first place before kind of going down that route. Other charges like calls also. Yeah, so for voice on our platform, everything will be deducted. Yeah, no worries. Everything will for voice, everything will be deducted in the same way that chat will be deducted. So agencies will be charged a certain amount per minute for usage on voice, and then just like with the chat rebilling side of things, you'll be able to set a margin, and this will be a variable margin rather than a static price. So right now with chat, you're setting a static price per message. With voice, it's going to be a percentage margin that you add. So for example, if we're charging the agencies 13% or 13 cents per minute, you could set let's say like a 50% margin, and then your clients would get charged like 20-ish cents per minute, and it's charged per minute. Um, it's charged per minute, but it's billed to the second. So even though um, even though it's per minute, it's charged to the second. So that way, you're only being charged for the active usage, and it's only when calls are being connected, and uh, that sum will be deducted from the wallet balance at the agency level and then correspondingly from the sub account wallet balance as well. And there's going to be essentially three charges that are associated with voice. The first is going to be the cost of the phone number, and that will be determined on if you are purchasing the phone number through our platform, or if you're purchasing the phone number directly from a place like Twilio or another provider. We're also looking to some other providers as well to be able to integrate with. Um, that will be a cost directly associated to you from that specific platform like Twilio. The second will be a usage cost, and that is what I was just mentioning, which is going to be deducted from the wallet balances that is billed per minute to the second for usage. And then the third thing will be call concurrency, which essentially means the amount of people that can talk to an AI agent on the same phone number at the same time. By default, we're planning on simply making it one concurrent call per phone number to start. And then if you'd like to purchase add additional concurrent calls, you can purchase additional concurrent calls, at which point your client and your sub account can also purchase those from you. Just so the same concepts with rebilling on everything within our platform will be maintained for as to keep things as simple as possible. But we are trying to facilitate the ability for an agency to build and sell voice agents to a small mom and pop shop that would only need one concurrent call, but also be able to build and sell to something like a call center. And if they need 100 concurrent calls, that would also be doable. So both use cases will be available, which will be very cool. So there won't be any restrictions, and there's not going to be any crazy upfront fees to get that working. It's all going to be based on usage, just like how chat is built and run on the platform right now. And that's one of the main things that we have been spending a lot of time on because we want to make sure that it does work for all the use cases that our customers are already selling to, because we know that there's a wide variety of people out there that are selling to different types of businesses and at different scales. And we want to be able to make it so that it's affordable for the mom and pop shop, but also make it scalable where you can make a ton of money from something like a call center. So we put a lot of thought and a lot of time into this to make sure it works well. And like Drew said, we're super excited to get this out for you. New call module is in very much detail. Yep. Yeah, we're really trying to think of all the different edge cases and scenarios as much as we can to get this out for you guys. So that way you can just start using it and ripping it and selling it like crazy. So I think this is gonna be a big piece of the future of our company will be uh, voice and chat kind of put together as a single package deal. Alrighty, any other comments, questions, concerns? Yes, we are going to be doing a support call after that. And for everyone else watching on YouTube or on the call, we always do our daily support calls Monday through Friday at 11:30 a.m. PST, Los Angeles time. We do that for 30 minutes. And any customers can hop on and talk to us and tell us their issues, and sometimes we can resolve them right on the call, or if not, we can take it from there and make sure that we resolve that issue for you, and then send you an email when it's fixed. Cool. All right. Well, I think that will wrap it up for today and this week. Hope everyone has a great rest of their week and using ChatGPT 5, and we will talk to you guys next week. Take care.